Hey there, Mindful Minis. It's Miss Sharon here to share another mindfulness tip with you. This week, we're going to be focusing on a mindfulness toolkit to help cope with anxieties and judgments. On Monday, Miss Rochelle began the conversation regarding judgment and anxiety. If you missed her wonderful presentation, you can get it on our Facebook Live events page at any time, and you can rewatch any of her live coffee and conversations there. If you guys don't already know, we do hold coffee and conversations on Mondays at 9 a.m. And it is kind of like a mindfulness minute for adults, just sitting down and having a relaxed conversation. You can bring your coffee, but it is very relaxed. And then on Thursdays, we follow up the coffee and conversation topic with Mindful Minis, where we reflect what was said during coffee and conversation and bring it down to a level that children can practice as well. Today, we are going to be highlighting mindfulness tools that we can utilize with our children when feelings such as judgment and anxieties come up. Mindfulness is the ability to be in the present moment without judgment and with kindness. It helps us intentionally draw our awareness to thoughts and feelings and emotions as they arise, becoming more mindful of ourselves. And in that, we become more mindful of ourselves and also more mindful of the world around us. This helps us with self-regulation skills and overall well-being. According to Anxiety Canada, anxiety can impact the lives of children in a few ways.
Number 1, affect, emotionally and physically, what we feel in our body. Number 2, behavior, what we do or our actions, such as avoiding or seeking reassurance. 3, cognition, what goes through our mind, like worrisome thoughts. 4, dependence, like relying on parents. What happens over time is that children depend too much on their parents. Number 5, excess and extreme. Anxiety is a problem when it's excessive and extreme in relation to the situation. And number 6, functioning, how your child manages each day.
It is really never too early to start building a mindfulness toolkit with your little one to help them cope with these feelings. The goal isn't necessarily to eliminate feelings such as anxiety, but rather to help your child manage those feelings when they arise. We spoke of the zones of regulation before, and it is a good idea to identify with your child what zone they feel that they are in before, during, and after completing these mindfulness tools. It helps them become more self-aware and see how they can get themselves from one zone, such as the yellow or the red or the blue, and make their way to the calm green zone. Here are a few mindfulness tools that you can use with your little one when feelings such as anxiety or judgment or any other feeling that feels uncontrollable in the moment arises. I like to put a little parenthesis on feels uncontrollable because these are controllable feelings. This is the whole point of the mindfulness toolkit, to be more mindful and more aware of these feelings so that we can control and manage them better. The first tool that I'm going to share with you guys is the Mindfulness 10 breath. Practicing mindful breathing is an amazing tool that you can utilize really at any time of the day. I know myself, sometimes when I'm, stressed out in the morning or really whenever, I can be leaving my car and start doing the 10 breath. There are different ways to do this, so I'll show you a few different ways, but they're very effective, and it is a quick, simple thing that we can do to just bring us back to feeling present and a little more calm. This is a very easy way to help your child self-regulate and scan their bodies to find those emotions and feel more at peace breathing through them. For this one, you are going to ask your child to either close their eyes or look down on the ground. From there, ask them to place their hands on their tummy. So we're going to take a big breath in, and when we breathe in, our belly is going to rise up. Ready? Beautiful. And now we're going to slowly breathe out. and inflate our belly. Wonderful. Let's try that again. A big deep breath in, fill our bellies. And out. Nice and slow. Wonderful. And just already with 2 breaths, you might feel that sense of calm already arising. If 10 breaths are too many for your little one, that is totally okay. You can start with 3 breaths or 5 breaths and make your way up to 10. For a variation of this, you can have your little one hold their thumb and their index finger together or their middle finger together, whatever one feels comfortable for them, even their pointer, whichever one. So have them put 2 fingers together, and they're either going to imagine having a butterfly or a feather between their fingers, or if you do have a feather or of course a fake butterfly that you can hold between your fingers, that is even better. So for this one, when your child breathes in, they'll close their eyes and breathe in. But then when we exhale, you can slowly blow and imagine a feather or a butterfly fluttering between your fingers. That is another great way to utilize the 10 breath. Another way that we can utilize the 10 breath is with our hands. This is one of my favorite ways of doing it. All you need is to put out your hand, and we're going to start by breathing in and going up our finger. Ready? Breathe in. And once we get to the top of the finger, we breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Great work. Last one. Breathe in. And out. Beautiful. So if you were doing 10 breaths, you would use both hands. If you just want to start with 5 breaths, of course, just use one hand, 5 fingers, 10, or you can just use the 5. The second mindfulness tool that you can utilize with your little one is drawing their emotions. Now, creative art is something that we should experience almost every single day, if not every single day. It is just such a great way of expression. But children sometimes have difficulty naming their emotion or recognizing really what they feel. That's kind of one of the reasons why we brought in the zones of regulation, to help children identify what they're feeling or that emotion that is coming up. But another way of doing this is through creative art. Sorry about that, everyone. My lights went out, so I'm a little more dim now, but that's okay. It's even more relaxing this way. Drawing their emotions is a great way for children to express themselves without having to use words. So they're able to express how they're feeling and be aware of how they're feeling without having to really name it or use words to name it. It's a different way of expression, and some children really prefer this until they get more comfortable with that emotion. It is a good idea to try this exercise at different times during different emotions. This would be when your child's a little bit angry and in the red zone, or if they're feeling kind of sad and they're in the blue zone, or if they're really, really excited and they're in the yellow zone, or if they're feeling really calm and peaceful and they're in the green zone. Regardless of what zone they're in, it is awesome to try this activity at different times to see the different ways that your child expresses these emotions. Sit down together and talk about how they're feeling, or if your child doesn't really want to talk about things, they can go right to the creative expression. As they think about what they're feeling, invite them to draw those feelings. You can also draw your feelings and join in on this creative experiment with them. Number 3 is the silence game. So this is not the silence game that we're used to, the silence game where we're kind of tricking the little ones into being a little quiet. This one is not a trick. It is a different kind of silence game. So this one is best experienced when your child is already in the green zone, when they're already feeling happy and calm and peaceful. So it's a little different from the other two. During the silence game, we ask children to be as quiet as possible, not just with their voices, but with their bodies as well. Standing still or laying still and just being totally relaxed. If you have one handy, you can even use a little hourglass timer. That way your child knows how long they have to have the silence game on for. It could be a little challenging for them at first, and having that visual might be a good prompt. You can also use any timer that you have on hand. I just like the sand timer because it's a little more calm than your phone buzzing off once it's over. But you can really use whatever you have on hand, and you can do this for a minute or 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however long your child feels comfortable doing it. Just like with the breathing, you can start off very short and then extend it from there to whatever your child feels most comfortable with. Once the silence game ends, use a quiet voice to ask your child how they felt, what they experienced, what they thought, etc. during this time. Also, you can invite your child to bring that feeling of calm and comfort with them into their next activity. I hope you guys enjoyed this session of Mindful Minis, circling around mindfulness toolkits and dealing with judgments and anxieties. We did share a few other techniques that you can use in our past Mindful Mini weeks. You can check those out. But before we go, I do just want to share one more thing with you guys and kind of do an exercise together to really calm our bodies and our minds before signing off. So here we have a sphere. It is also known as a breathing ball. And when it expands like this, it is symbolic of our lungs getting larger when we breathe in. So this is our lungs when we breathe out, when we exhale. And when we breathe in, our lungs expand. Let's breathe in. And out. Now, if you don't have the ball in front of you, which I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, don't have this with you, you can put your hand on your chest and feel your body growing, your lungs growing inside your body and shrinking back down. So let's take 3 breaths together with our sphere, with our breathing ball. And if you would like to, you can put your hand on your belly or your hand on your chest, or you can just look at the ball and breathe with me. So we're going to start by breathing in really, really deeply, and then we're going to slowly breathe out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And out. Beautiful. Let's try it again. This will be 2. Breathe in. And out. One more time. Breathe in. And out. Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for participating in this Mindful Mini session, and we'll see you next week.